Welcome to another Pilates for Life video with me, Caitlin. Welcome back. Glad you're joining me. And I want to thank you for giving me a reason to get up and do something constructive. I've got about 12 to 15 exercises for you today, which should take us about 25 to 30 minutes. So get yourself a chair and get your mat and either a flat pillow or a rolled up towel to support your head when we're down on the mat. And I was supposed to be rolling out my feet while I was talking to you. I'll do that very quickly. Hopefully you've got a tennis ball at home and you can do the same thing. Rolling out and then pressing down on the arch. Remember, when you look down, you want to see a little bit of the ball on the inside of the foot. And make sure you do both feet. I'm just going to do them very quickly so that we can get started. Just a few rolls on this foot to just prepare the tissue under the feet for standing. And then again, pressing down on the arch. Press as much as you can handle. All right, I'm going to get rid of my ball. And then we're going to start in standing. So standing with feet hip width apart and parallel. Remember, take a look down at your feet, get the inner edges lined up like a number 11. And we always measure parallel from our hip bones in the front. So from these hip bones down through your knees and into the center of your feet. Standing up nice and tall, enjoying the space between your shoulders and your ears. Just bring a little tone to the tummy, and we're going to shift the weight forwards and back in the feet. So this movement is really about learning to feel or learning to notice where the weight is in your feet. I'll just do it from side on. So you want to keep your toes down, you want to keep your heel down so the foot stays connected with the floor, but you're just gently shifting, and you can see hopefully I'm keeping my spine in neutral when I do this. Now we'll settle the body so that we can feel the weight around the whole foot, behind the big toe, behind the little toe, and in the center of the heel. And we're ready for our roll downs. On the exhale, nod the chin, coming down to the center line of your spine. And if you're doing this in the morning like I am, just go gently. Soften the knees as much as you need to. Take your time. Focus on rounding the spine completely. Hopefully after you've done a few of these, the spine will feel more mobile and ready for action. We'll do two more. Exhaling down, allowing your shoulders to just roll forwards. One more. And exhale up. Okay, we're going to mobilize the shoulders and the arms now. So standing again nice and tall, just squeeze your shoulder blades together and then release, squeeze, and release. Try and stay relaxed in your neck, neutral in your spine. This time, let's squeeze and then turn that into some arm circles, waking up the arms here. Inhaling as we come up, exhaling as we come down through the center, and reverse. Going where your shoulders will allow. You want this to be comfortable. Remember, it's a mobilizing movement. One more. So remember those arm circles. We're going to combine them in a second with another exercise. We're going to do some walking on the spot. So let's go hands on hips. And we're going to start lifting alternate heels. And it's really beneficial if you can do this facing a mirror, because I want you to keep your hips nice and still. I'm going to use the mirror to help me here. This time I'm going to lift one heel, leave it up, lift the other one, and bring one down. So we're always going to have one that we leave up. Both are lifted, leave one up as you bring one down. And again, pay attention to your hips, they should stay level, and you should be like a piston just moving up and down, straight up and down. All right, so keep working on that. If you've got the hang of it, you can add your arm circles. Let's do one forwards and then one back. So I'm going 1 and 2, 1 and 2. This is a good challenge. Let's do a couple more of these. Try and keep those arm circles moving smoothly. And last one. Excellent. Bring the arms down. Nice work. So we're going to do a couple of exercises where you can use your band if you have one. If you don't have a band, don't worry about it. You can do these exercises without. So if you have your band, grab it now. We're going to do some dumb waiter. So you're going to place the band over the palms with your palms facing up and your elbows right underneath your shoulder. Your hands should be shoulder width apart. And I want you to watch for breaking the wrist. I want you to keep this nice straight line from the wrist to the elbow and keep that elbow right under your shoulder as we stretch the band. So we've often done these in class where we've put a pillow between the upper arm and the body to maintain that good alignment. So imagine you've got the pillow there. Let's alternate arms now, right? And then left. So if you don't have your band, you just do these without, right? And left. Again, you can really benefit from doing these in front of a mirror. Let's do one more on each arm. And now we're going to progress to the version where we are pulling the band towards us and engaging the shoulder blades more. So this time, elbows are slightly away from your sides. Take a wider grip on the band. And if you find these are really difficult with your band, do them without or take a wider grip. So tummy in, exhale, squeeze the shoulder blades together to pull the band closer. Here it is, side on, squeeze. Squeeze and pull. My hands are going wider than my elbows. My shoulder blades are squeezing, which is what draws the band closer to me. Watch for those hands creeping up. Try and keep them at the same height as your elbows. Last two. Remember, you stop whenever you need to. Jump back in if you can. And finish there. All right, taking an overhand grip now to do some pole raises. So we've got, again, our hands the same width as our shoulders. We bring the arms straight up. Stretch the band as you pull it to the forehead, then press and bring the arms down, side on. Arms come up, pull to the forehead, press and down. Pull, press and down. Pull, press and down. This time let's do a set of 3. We go 3. And press, hands over elbows. Remember, band comes to the forehead, shoulders pull down, all the way down with the arms. One more set of 3, arms up, pull, shoulders down and press. Pull, press, one more here, pull, press, and all the way down. Great work. All right, so we're gonna get the chair and get it set up. My little cheat sheet here so I don't forget any exercise. So come into a sitting position on your chair. Remember, it's always good to be towards the front of the chair with your feet flat on the floor. And we're going to start with some sitting side reach. So sitting up tall with your arms nice and long. We're going to float the right arm up and then lengthen the spine over. And return. So remember, the great thing about doing this in a chair is that we can focus on keeping the sit bones glued to the chair, which helps us to keep the hips still. So as you bring your right arm up, think about gluing your right sit bone to the chair and lengthening away from it. Lengthen through the spine as you go into your side reach. Last one on each side. Super. All right, we're going to go into some spinal rotation now. So let's do some bow and arrow, bringing the arms out in front of the chest. Bend your elbow, bring the hand towards the shoulder, lengthen the arm as you rotate away. Bend the elbow, lengthen, remember that front arm reaches forwards, and return. I'm going to give myself a little bit of space here. And back. And remember, you're looking down that back arm. You do not want to lose sight of the back arm. You do not want to allow your shoulders to creep up. Your shoulders do not help you in this exercise. Last one. And back. Nice work, everyone. Let's put the chairs away, and then we'll come down onto the floor, onto your mat. So I'm going to pull my mat back into position here where you can see me, and just move my band out of the way. If you have a soft ball, you could grab that. That can be useful for a few of our exercises. I'm just going to grab mine. So let's start in sitting. And we will do some rollbacks in sitting. So this is just going to get our pelvis moving a bit. So in your sitting position, if you don't have a ball, that's fine, but if you do, pop the ball behind you. That'll give you a little bit of support and just a little bit more feedback when you do the rollback. So feet are flat, if possible. Take your feet as wide as you need to in order to be able to sit up in neutral. Hands are placed behind the thighs. Let's start by going into our C curve. Gently tuck the chin, tuck the tailbone, and then roll back. So you're drawing the back of your pelvis and your low back onto the ball as you hold. Stay rounded as you come up, and then lengthen up tall. Round the spine and roll back. Inhale. Exhale to come up and sit up tall. Round the spine, roll back. Hold. Stay rounded as you come up and lift up tall. Let's do 3 more. And we just keep holding on lightly behind the thighs, because I'm treating this exercise today as more of a pelvic warm-up, a pelvic mobility exercise, rather than any kind of hardcore working of the abdominal muscles. Last one. Round the spine from the crown of the head to the tail, then roll back. Press the low back onto the ball. Stay rounded as you come back up. And then just put your ball to the side, and we'll do a nice transition down and do a couple of exercises in relaxation position. So I'm going to pop a pillow behind the back of my head. And I'm gonna roll back, lie back on the mat. Arms, let's have hands on top of hip bones, feet flat, knees hip width apart and parallel, and we'll do some leg slides. So we're gonna slide the right leg out, and then back, and remember we're focused on keeping the pelvis and the spine completely neutral. Slide out, and back. Slide out, and back. Let's do 6 more. Inhaling to slide out, exhaling to slide back, just gently warming up those low abdominals. Last one, right and left. And then we're going to combine this movement with curl-ups. All right, so you're gonna take your pillow, if you're using one, or your folded towel, put it to the side. Let's have the hands behind the head, elbows as always in your peripheral vision. Let's do one curl-up to start, just to remind ourselves of the correct movement. On the exhale, nod the chin, squeeze the ribs together to curl up. Breathe in at the top and exhale down. So we're going to combine this with a leg slide. We curl up, slide the right leg out, and then return. So you're working on getting that good mobilization through the upper spine, keeping your hips nice and level as you alternate legs. Let's do 4 more. Last 2. And 1 more. All right, nice work, everybody. So you're going to bring yourself up into a sitting position now, and let's see what we're going to do next. Let's actually come into side lying now. So grab your towel or your pillow or pillows and come onto your side to do some torpedo. So I'm going to lengthen out my bottom arm. I'm just going to move back a little so you can see me well. And we're going to bring the body into a nice long straight line for our torpedo. So the challenge with torpedo is to maintain this balance in the side lying position and keep your bottom waist lifted so your spine stays in neutral. So I'm going to use my top hand to help me balance, but I'm going to try not to press too hard on it. So we'll do 6 at each level. We'll do the 3 torpedo exercises. Top leg comes up, bottom leg comes up, bring them down together. Top leg, bottom leg, and down. So we inhale to lift the top leg, exhale to lift the bottom leg, and then bring them down. Lift, exhale, lift, and lower. 2 more. Top leg, bottom leg, down. Last one. Lift, lift, and lower. All right, rechecking that I'm still in neutral. Top leg comes up to hip height. On the exhale, lift the bottom leg. Just a couple more now. Last 2. Last 1. Bring it down. Right, our last side lying exercise is a double leg lift. So we squeeze the legs together from the heels all the way up to the pubic bone. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Now there's a real temptation to use the hand here. Resist. Tummy in. 3 more. 2 more. Last 1. And relax. Nice work. Come on to your front. In between sides, we're going to do some cobra, and then we will do some star legs. Okay, so for your cobra, you want your forearms alongside your mat. You want your forehead down, your legs wider than hip width apart with the heels turned in. So I'm going to support my low back by pulling the tummy in and pressing the pubic bone down. On the exhale, coming into cobra prep, roll your marble away with your nose, lengthen the neck as the chest comes forwards and up. Breathe in, exhale down, exhale up, lengthening the spine. And you don't want to feel as if you are pushing yourself up. You want to use the muscles in your upper spine. Remember, the head and neck movement is less than you think. It's only about 1/3 of the full mobility of your head and neck. This time, let's roll the marble, send the chest forwards and up, and then you can press into your hands and allow the hips to open as you come up. Bend the elbows, bring them down, and lay the spine down nice and long. So remember, you can adjust your arm position here. If you're finding it hard to straighten the arms in the full cobra, just move your hands a little further up or take your arms a little further away, or even both. Exhale up, still pressing the pubic bone down. Shoulders away from ears. Elbows come down really quickly. Two more. Last one. All right, let's bring the arms into the diamond press position and rest the forehead down between the fingertips. Narrow your legs a little bit so that the tops of the feet are on the floor. And we're going to do some star legs, so working on our hip movement. Still pulling the belly button in, lengthen your right leg and lift it, remember, without your hip bone coming up. Lengthen the left leg, reach and lift. If anybody wants a little bit more challenge for the last few, you can try a double leg lift. If that's too much for you, stick with the singles. So here's the double again. Almost there. One more double or one more right and left. And relax that down. Let's take rest position. So either take your knees wide, sit down on your heels and round the spine, or do a modified cat. Rounding the spine and then moving your seat back towards your heels. Sending your breath into the back and sides of your rib cage. All right, restack the spine to come out of that position, and we'll lie on the opposite side now to do our sideline torpedo exercises. So lengthening out that bottom arm, pop the pillows on top. Stretch your legs into a long straight line. Remember, you can use this top hand to help you with your balance. So we're going to go top leg up, bottom leg up and down. Keep that bottom waist lifted. Top leg. Exhale to lift the bottom leg and down. 3 more. Lift, lift and lower. Lift, lift and lower. Let's do one more. Super job. Top leg up to hip height, leave it there. Bottom leg comes up and down. On the exhale, squeeze it up. 3, 2, and 1. And bring it down. So our last side lying exercise is that double leg lift. So you want to try and get those heels joined up, which means lengthening your top hip away from you. Squeeze those heels all the way up to your pubic bone, and then lift on the exhale. That's halfway, just 3 more. 3, 2, and 1, and relax. Nice work. All right, so let's come back onto our, back into relaxation position, so lying on your back, and we'll do some hip rolls and some knee rolls. So I'm going to have a pillow under the back of my head for this. If you have a bowl, this is a good time to use it. If you don't worry about it. So for our hip roll, lying on your back, I'm going to pop the ball between my knees and bring my feet together. If you're not doing the ball, you don't have a ball, just squeeze your knees together, squeeze your feet together. Spread your arms, turn the palms to face the ceiling. Keep squeezing that ball or squeezing your knees together and rotate the hips to one side. Remember, you're keeping your shoulder blades on the mat, using the exhale to move. And it is really important that you're squeezing the ball or squeezing your knees together so that you don't lose position, so that you keep your neutral spine and you make sure that that rotation is coming through your pelvis and traveling up the spine. Last one. Back to center. So for the knee rolls, you can take the ball away. And for our knee rolls, remember, we want our feet wider than hip width apart. Still have those arms spread. And for the knee roll, you can add a little head turn. So as we fold the knees to one side, turn the head and neck in the opposite direction. Back through center to the other side. Try and make most of the movement come through your legs and not through your hips moving. So doing the best that you can to keep the back of your pelvis on the mat and just moving through the legs. One more to each side. Last one. Super. All right, bring yourself up into sitting. We are going to do cat and then make our way to standing. So we'll just do about 5 cat. And I'm going to use the end of my mat to give my wrists a little support. You can use your pillows or fold up the end of your mat. Make sure your knees are under your hips for this. And we'll start from the tailbone, tucking the pelvis, slowly rounding the spine. And then moving our seat back towards the heels for a nice stretch in the low back. Hinging forwards, lifting the head and tail to lengthen back into neutral. Rounding the spine. So keep those arms nice and straight, because as you sit back, you get a nice stretch under the armpits here. Round from the tail to the crown got 2 more to do. And last one. So come into a 2-point kneeling position with your hands off the mat, your toes tucked under. We're going to make our way into standing. So bring one leg forward and then press off the back toes to rise up and step together. Find a space off your mat and on the floor, preferably hard surface, if not near a wall, in case you have any balance issues. Let's do a little bit of squat into standing on one leg. So knees and feet about hip-width apart and parallel. Remember, flexing the hips, bending the knees to come into our squat, squeezing the shoulder blades together. So just focus on the squat for a moment. It's just a small squat, not a deep one. This time when we come up, we're going to shift the weight onto one foot, peel the other one off the floor for standing on one leg. So we squat, rise up, standing on one leg. Remember, each time you bring the foot down after standing on one leg, try and ensure that it's parallel. Last one on each leg. Excellent. Take your feet a little wider than hip-width apart. We'll do some corkscrew arms before we finish with extension. So take the arms wide, bring the hands to the back of the head, lift the shoulders, lower them, reach the arms and press down. Lift, lower, lengthen, and press down. One more. This is just a great exercise to mobilize your shoulders. Coming into our standing extension now. Just relax the arms down. Send your feet down into the floor. We'll do 3 of these. Inhale, lift the head, the chin, the chest, and open the hips. Exhale back. So from side on, we inhale to look up and lift the chest as you lengthen the spine. One more. And we're finished. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you feel great and I hope you have a wonderful day. Use this video as many times as you like and I will see you on the mat again soon.